Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. It's about 3:30, about 30 minutes till the close of another pretty crazy day. Not as crazy as yesterday, but another day of some volatility, some aggression. We'll get to that in a second. Be so kind, take a moment out to click the like button. It will help out the channel, it'll help out the cause, and hopefully I can continue to provide some value. So hopefully everybody is doing okay. So this is the day after, right? This is the day after when a lot of people, just like me, I'm sure a lot of people, including myself, never heard of the word DeepSeek. Today is day 2 of DeepSeek revenge, right? Revenge of the beta names. And yesterday, and again, you can make an argument that yesterday's sell-off was, a bit overdone, a little bit too sensitive, a little bit of an overreaction. You could use a lot of adjectives to kind of describe what you saw yesterday, but the damage was done, right? The scoreboard is the scoreboard. NASDAQ was down 600 points yesterday. You had everything from energy to data centers to semiconductors, really feeling the effects of what happens when a curveball is thrown into the ballgame, right? And today the question was, well, what was going to happen, right? Was yesterday just an extreme outlier event, or is it going to be something more? Is it going to be something that nobody was prepared for? A lot of people got blindsided, and was there going to be more selling? And today we got a pretty good answer. In the morning you had a big gap up right from the word go. What we always talk about, and constant reminder, okay, always constant reminder, guys, when you get a gap up, and this is not the first time we talked about this, when you get a gap up and the next day, there was technical damage, and the next day you get a gap up, the last thing you want to do is buy that initial gap up, because what happens is usually stocks get hit right into supply. That's exactly what happened this morning. If you look at all the semiconductors this morning, Avago, Broadcom was up like $7, $8. It went red. NVDA this morning was up $3, $4 pre-market. It went red, right? Took out the previous day's low and bounced back. But to the credit, right? To the credit of the bulls, the market firmed up, right? The market firmed up, and this is basically kind of a wake-up call. And this is coming right from the Trump organization to say, hey, you guys, it's a wake-up call. There's another kid on the block, regardless if you think this was a legitimate contender in the AI space, and you think the numbers may be falsified or exaggerated. The case of the matter, the fact of the matter is, this was a major wake-up call. And now that we are kind of getting our sea legs back together, right? And we look at where we are about 30 minutes into the close. Yesterday the NASDAQ lost 600 plus points. Today, as of about 3:30 in the afternoon, we got a 2% bounce back. NASDAQ made back about 400 of the 600 points. Again, by the time you see this broadcast, maybe we rally 200 more points into the close, maybe we sell off. But as of right now, the bulls did a pretty good job. We reclaimed back yesterday's highs, and not only did we reclaim back yesterday's highs on the NASDAQ 100, we went through 3 supply zones, okay? Not only did we get back above the 50-day moving average, we got back above the 20-day moving average, the 10-day moving average, and we're not that far away from reclaiming the 5. Why is the 5 important? Well, the 5 is short-term sentiment. Whoever has control of the 5-day moving average, well, has control of short-term sentiment, and that was kind of the whole point of why yesterday's sell-off was so blindsided. It was so unnecessary, because you can see here this orange line, how orderly kept on hitting the 5-day bouncing, hitting the 5-day bouncing, hitting the 5-day bounces. So yesterday, when they came out with this whole DeepSeek news, it was a monster whiff of the market, and this is why you saw such an exaggerated move because the market lost all its rising support. And again, it's a great sign that we got it back. If you look at the kind of casualties, both on the semiconductor and the data centers, again, we'll kind of keep it towards the semiconductors. The biggest bounce back today was definitely NVIDIA, right? This was the biggest problem area in the market yesterday. Probably lost close to $600 million in market share. I know we're about a day away from reclaiming back the 65-day EMA. And again, why is that important? That's also the previous day's high. So a very good bounce back in NVIDIA. A name, for example, like Avago was pretty much weak all day. It's finally kind of starting to wake up back into the close. When you look at the names that actually led yesterday, that was actually the most impressive part. Usually, there's something called the Christmas tree effect. At least I call it the Christmas tree effect, which basically means half the NASDAQ names are green, half the NASDAQ names are red. Usually, it becomes a very complicated market. But if you saw what happened yesterday, we talked about it on the weekend, on the video last night, you saw the leaders, right? You saw Apple going absolutely out of its mind, right? Apple is very close to reclaiming back the 50-day moving average. Apple, again, it was a consumer, right? That was the whole point. It was a consumer of these chips. So a price war, right? Or a price war and technology that's better than, the big players on the block. It's only going to help an Apple, right? It's only going to help out because they're the consumer. So Apple, an incredible two-day run. Again, when was the last time you saw Apple up like 16, 17 points in 2 days? Thursday, they report. Again, the big part about Apple tomorrow, it needs kind of a reclaim back over the 50-day supply. As you can see here, it's got rejected here so far today, and both on the January 10 highs. But again, who could really be, if you're an Apple shareholder, it's very tough to be upset of what Apple's doing. And now we're probably about a day away of reclaiming levels. Tomorrow, right? You got Meta coming out with earnings. Meta has been on an absolute tear. That's the best way of saying it. Didn't care about yesterday. It didn't care about today. They're coming out with earnings. If you guys remember a couple of days ago, they were coming in for like 6 months to a year of especially some leaps. You saw some 1,100 calls, some 1,250 calls for January of 2026. So again, very heavily anticipated earnings report tomorrow from Meta. You got Microsoft, right? Overnight, you kind of heard that there's now a new frontrunner, right, to potentially buy TikTok. Yesterday, it was a potential Oracle sale, and now May is a potential Microsoft sale. So we'll see exactly how that plays out tomorrow. It reports its earnings. And last but not least, for tomorrow's session is Tesla. Tesla's been dead in the water, right? It's been dead in the water. I think nobody can make a bullish case going into earnings on Tesla, but tomorrow Tesla could surprise everybody and the stock could be at 450 tomorrow. Again, we don't know that, but you can see here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row, lower highs, lower lows. Today, it's kind of reclaiming back the 50-day moving average on the close. I would like for tomorrow, if it's possible, right? I'm not really asking a lot of the market gods, but I'm asking tomorrow if we can possibly get a trade above yesterday's range into the earnings, right? It would be nice. It would actually be nice in a change to kind of buy some Tesla ahead of its earnings versus like watching go lower, low, right? I'd say we call it a cute little pivot to the downside. Not a big move. Went down like $1 and change, $1.50, whatever it was. But again, the market is, waiting for its earnings. Obviously, you're going to see a lot of interest, a lot of people making bets one way or another. Again, we don't know what's going to happen in earnings. Again, if I have the earnings report right in my hand, I couldn't possibly tell you how the stock is going to react. Obviously, tomorrow after the close, we'll dissect and go through the numbers. But again, big day tomorrow. Meta, Microsoft, Tesla earnings. And oh, by the way, Jerome Powell and the FOMC, the first FOMC under the Trump second term, right? So we'll see exactly what happens there. The one group that continues to outperform all these cybersecurity names, again, the one biggest issue with this whole deep sec, again, is another, potential high risk, right? High risk, China big brother looking over our shoulder, collecting more data. So these stocks continue to really, really do well. You have Snow basically sitting at 52-week highs. This is the highest close in the whole formation. Snow looks like it wants to go higher. You got NET going out of its mind. You got Crowd, breaking out today, going absolutely crazy. So the cyber names, the cybersecurity names are definitely doing what they're supposed to do if there is some sort of data breach, or there's kind of a big brother watching. And again, this is what the whole point of them trying to get rid of, at least on the US side, get rid of TikTok, because they think it's a data breach. So DeepSeek, kind of the same thing. And again, all these names are really doing very, very well. The question going into tomorrow, right? The question going into tomorrow, can the bulls continue this pop, right? Can't continue this pop, or is this going to be one of those scenarios that, hey, this is continuing to be a bit of a fluid situation. We don't know what's going to happen. It's not a one and done situation. There could be some more shoes to drop. Again, we don't know that. This is all speculation. But again, like I always talk about every single day, don't we need to be prepared, right? Today, completely night and day from yesterday. Yesterday's session, I think everybody was just kind of scrambled to kind of figure out what was going on. Like I said in last night's video, nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw this coming. It was a curveball. My game plan completely went to hell in a handbasket in the first 30 seconds that I was awake yesterday. Today, much more back to normal. Much more back to normal. We had some pivots to the upside. Amazon did incredibly well. Really, really well today. Congratulations to all you guys. We talked about some Amazon in last night's video. Amazon went ballistic today. One of the better movers today. Amazon took out the last 2 days of ranges. That's kind of what you need for a stock to take out a couple of days ranges, especially for the ones who are standing out amidst of all this selling. Amazon did really well today. Took out the 35-60 pivot, took out the previous day's range of 236, traded all the way up to nearly 242. NVIDIA, extremely strong, extremely strong. We did have a couple of areas that we had some pretty good rejections on it, so that was fine as well. Snow continued to break out. So again, much more organized today. I think that's the best way of saying it. Much more organized. There wasn't a lot of confusion, a lot of good organic moves. You didn't have to scramble. You didn't have to kind of, put yourself in a situation that your emotions are taking control, that you're predicting price action. All we needed to do was wait for channels, wait for them to either reject or confirm the channels, and usually good things were going to happen. So nice, really good, efficient session today. I'm pretty pleased. Right now, it's about 15 minutes into the close. So let me give you guys some ideas for tomorrow. Look, I want to see if NVIDIA could get back above yesterday's channel, right? Because if it gets back above yesterday's channel, then we can start maybe getting back above the 65, above this 150-day SMA. And this wasn't indeed an overreaction. Again, we don't know that, right? We could have, by the time you see this broadcast, you could have more news come out and everything that I'm saying become completely moot. But at least for tomorrow on the surface, I definitely want to watch the previous day's channel. If we could get above it, maybe we could get a day 2 run. I am definitely watching Tesla to see if the market gods can bless us with a day that we can actually get some sort of range to the upside. At least maybe if funds are positioning themselves ahead of earnings, or at least will give us a $2, $3, $4 move. Again, that continues to be, let's see, to be determined. I want to see if the other semiconductors wake up, right? ARM really didn't bounce back that great today. ARM got murdered yesterday, right? Absolutely murdered. It's only up $2. Avago yesterday got absolutely murdered, and until the last hour, it was basically up about $1. It had a nice pop here in the last hour, but it was basically up about $1 the whole day. Again, this is an inside day. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see an inside day from Avago. You don't want to see an inside day from ARM. If you look at MU, this damn thing couldn't even get going. This thing got smashed. So the semiconductors need some work. Okay, NVIDIA kind of let us down yesterday. NVIDIA is trying to lead us back up today. So we want to see, as NVIDIA goes, so goes the whole semiconductor group. So that's it, guys. That's it. We made it through the 2 days. Hopefully tomorrow, even less volatility comes into the market. Obviously, I haven't even done my chart work today. But again, I want to make sure that we are prepared on both sides of the market. We're going to watch the options market to kind of give us a clue in the morning which way the ball wants to bounce. But the most important part is the bulls continue to fight, right? Bulls continue to fight. They continue to kind of brush off yesterday's news. And the longer we can continue to brush off yesterday's news, the volume and the volatility will start getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's only good for a healthy, organic market. Guys, God bless everybody. Have a great night. Oh, God's help. I'll see you all on the field tomorrow. Take care.